Oh, yeah. Welcome, adventurers! It's time for John's Dungeon Corner, live from the Collective in Altamont Springs, Florida. Guess what? It's showtime! All right, we got some good stuff going on today. All right. Hey, so now you know that when we get new stuff in, it doesn't matter where it is, where it's from. If it's cool, we got to talk about it. Sarah in the house from St. Thomas, what's up? Hello, my love, from Missouri. Look at that. They're coming in from all across. All right. You guys just made it. I love it. All right. So let's talk about some cool stuff that came out this week. And remember, it's all things Dungeons and Dragons. And although Pathfinder isn't technically Dungeons and Dragons, it is. It's Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. So let's talk about something I'm absolutely going to pick up, and I actually talk about all the time, which is their new Pathfinder Lodge map board. It's a flip mat, of course. It's got a really cool map. The lodge front and back. It's everything flips back and forth. So you know, I gotta have it. That's a definite today buy. Oh yeah, I like it. It's very colorful. In fact, looks really nice. That's that famous Pathfinder Lodge that everybody you hear talk about in that game. So this will definitely be in my collection today, for sure. Also, they came out with their Book of the Dead, 2nd edition. The Dead Are Rising, because we like it when the zombies, the skeletons, and the ghouls come out to play. It's kind of like Halloween for adventures. Yeah, very nice book, by the way. I mean, hey, you know what? You talk about ghouls. Look at that. Nice artwork as always. The artwork is always nice. Look at that. Ooh, I like it. All right. Very nice book. And for those of you who like to collect the books and make them a part of the collection, the Dead Are Rising Special Edition. It's in red and gold foil. Very pretty. The spine is in red and gold also. It's a very nice book. 2nd edition Pathfinder Book of the Dead. Basically, Dungeons and Dragons 3.5. All right. So, anyway, they are here at the Collective. Newly arrived. Waiting just for you. All right. So, let's talk about... No, not yet. I'm gonna wait to see if this person comes on. I told them about the show. They asked me a question, and I want to sit there and answer it while they're on. If not, they'll have to look back and check it out online. Okay, so let's talk about paints. Remember we talked about paints, and I went and got the Army Painter Speed Paint set. Well, as promised, as always, because they always come through, the Collective got their hands on the Army Painter Speed Paint Mega Set. This set, woo! This is nice. I'll tell you what, it's looking good. It's got just about every color in there. I'm not going to name them off, but let's see how many of you are there. Many. Let me see. We got 5. We got 11. We got 16. We got 22 colors in here. The entire set is in here. Had they had this set before I bought the other set. And it comes, by the way, with a free brush included. And I'll tell you what, that's nice because the free brushes you got to put the paint on there somehow, right? But it's really nice. Check it out. It's their mega set. Really nice. I'm going to tell you, though, limited quantities. Everything always comes out in limited quantities. It's a bummer, right? But there's so much stuff coming out, and only so much space. So it's looking really good. And while we're on the subject of paints, because I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Yes, Sarah, they are awesome. I agree with you 110%. In fact, I basically paint exclusively with them. And I'm going to talk about them in just a second. But something that's really cool about Army Painter, they have this booklet. And even if you don't get, let's say now they have a whole Army Painter paint line. That's amazing. It has metallics. It has shades. If you don't want to do the speed painting, if you just paint normally, I will tell you that they have this neat little booklet that takes you through the different stages, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, it's a free book. You just come in, pick one up, and it talks about everything from primering to painting to dipping. And it talks about shading. I mean, it's really nice. It kind of walks you through the steps. So you can take a miniature to practice on and walk through the whole step from A to Z. Here we go. Step 1, spray it, primer it. Step 2, paint it. Step 3, dip it. Step 4, done. You can, it shows you how to, you can base. It's amazing. Hey, Jason. How you doing? Welcome to the show. We're talking about army paints. Army painter and his paints in the booklet. Now, Sarah brought up, that's right, the cool people watch John's Dungeon Corner. That's right. Now, the coolest of the cool, because everybody who plays D&D is cool, but y'all are the coolest of the cool. All right, so check this out. Army painter put together 3 of their brushes, okay, in a packet. There's the standard hobby brush, the dry brush, and a small detail. It's a nice little set of 3 brushes, and basically you got everything you need to paint with. All right? It's available here at the Collective. Yeah! But there are really nice brushes. As Sarah said, I mean, they're just amazing. I love them. I've pretty much exclusively gone to them. Now, you can also get them individually. And these are some of the ones that I have at home that are some of my favorites. So this one here is a small dry brush, okay? It's when you want to get in those little areas, you just want to dry brush like maybe like a couple of the legs. This is a little bit bigger. This was cut at an angle, okay? Whereas this dry brush is your basic standard dry brush. So you can just do areas, okay? But this one lets you get into, like if you just want to do the legs. Sarah, you jumped to the end. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. All right. So we have the dry brush. I like it. Then we have the character brush. Now, this one's an all-around brush. It's a little bit different than the standard hobby brush. It has a little bit finer point, and you can really work your character. I love it. This is also one that I have at home. Now, we're getting there, Sarah. You're jumping ahead again. Now, there's a brush called, there's 2 brushes that are amazing. If you want to sit there and do detail work, in my hands, left and right, right and left, I have 2 of the most awesome brushes yet. And these are, of course, the Psycho. And it is psychotic. Wait till you see how small it is. Willie Blanco. There's my brother. There's my brother. Welcome to the show, brother. And then, of course, our favorite, Sarah, the Insane Detail. I mean, it doesn't get any crazier than these 2 brushes right here. All right? I'm glad you made it, Willie. So these 2 brushes are like the must. If you want to do little eyes and put the eyeball, and if you want to do eyelashes, this is it. The Psycho, the Insane Detail. Go for it. And they're available here right at the Collective. That's right. So that's all I'm going to say about paints, because paints are cool, brushes are awesome, and Army painter, I got to admit, I've used a lot of different paints, and they all work, you know, hey, whatever you can do, but Army painter for the win. All right. So while we're talking about painting, I want to remind you guys that once a month, right here, Fiona comes out and does an awesome painting class. They have these paint kits that you can get, and she will sit down with you for an hour, hour and a half, whatever, however long you want to be here, really. And everything's in there that you need. It has the it comes with the miniature, 12 paints, 2 brushes, and a water pot. All right. So it's amazing. She will take you step by step and help you from start to finish on it. Okay. It's amazing. Really neat. I enjoy it. And here's the neat thing about these. These all come pre-primered. Okay. All the Nazuras, Marvelous. In fact, a lot of the miniatures up on the wall all come pre-primered. So all you sit down and just start painting. It's a fun class. She does it once a month on the first Saturday, except for in June. We want to talk about this. Are you ready? Well, let's talk about Saturday, May 7th. We have Free Comic Book Day here at the Collective. It is Saturday, May 7th. 2022, that's this year. We're going to have Free Comic Book Day. So make sure you come by, pick up your free comic, And yeah, have some fun. There'll be all kinds of cool stuff going on. Then, this is a special announcement, and you heard it here first on John's Dungeon Corner. Tell all your friends. On Saturday, June 4th, we are having game day. Oh, yeah. And you know what that means? It means all kinds of games, from card games to board games to Dungeons and Dragons. You'll probably see Battletech out there. You might even find a Pathfinder group. You never know. But we're going to be here. We're going to be talking about Dungeons and Dragons. That's what I'll be doing. They'll be talking about the board games. You know, this will be a lot of fun. You never know who's going to show up. So make sure you show up so you know who showed up. That's right. June 4th. Sarah will be here for that. Oh, yeah. All right. So now, after all that, one last thing I want to talk about, something really cool that came in. These are awesome, by the way. This is another thing. If you want to do some scenarios and you want to use cool terrain like I've shown you, remember I always talk about there's other companies that do terrain, and that's really nice. Brendan was able to get the Battlefield in a box. This is painted tabletop terrain, and this is what it looks like. This is called the Ice Fields, I believe. The Caverns of Ice. So, I'm going to bring this up a little closer so you can see it. I love showing this stuff off. It really adds a dimension to the game. It's really cool. So, this is what it looks like right here. Okay. Caverns of Ice. You get everything you see there, the stalactites and the pool. So, you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, I believe five different models. So, there's actually 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1, and then 2 of each of these. So, you get 7 painted stalagmites and a painted pond. All right. Now, the cavern, there is an actual cavern, vinyl cavern that you roll out for, but that's sold separately. It's really neat. And it's by Gale Force 9. Really good company. They've been doing this stuff for a while now. Now, you see a lot of this in Battletech and in other miniature games. But it can be used for Dungeons & Dragons. I mean, like I said, anything can be used for Dungeons & Dragons. Especially the painted terrain. I love this stuff. You can never have enough because I'll probably end up getting one of those. I don't have anything wintry, but in case I need it, it's better to have and not need than to need and not have. That's what I always say. That's right. All right. So let's move on to the next topic, which is very dear to me, and it's dice. And why am I talking about dice? Well, John, you talk about dice all the time. You're right, because there's always new dice coming out. But the reason I'm talking about it today, and I was hoping they'd be on here, but that's okay. I was asked this last Wednesday, what are all the different dice for? Because I was standing over there looking for some dice from one of the players to help them pick out some dice, and I was asked, so what are all these dice for? And that's a really good question. I mean, first of all, you can never have enough dice, right? That's what I always say. And when I say it, I mean, you can never, you're right, Jason. The question is, can you ever have enough dice? No, you cannot. No, you cannot. Those are the ones that I use as a player. That's all. They're all purple. All of them. Look at that. All purple. All kinds. I've had them for ages. Some of them I've had, a long, long time. 20 plus years. There they are. Nope, you can never have enough dice. Dice, and more dice. So, but that's not the question, right? It's not how many dice do you want to have, but it's what are all these dice used for? Well, okay. And that's a valid question. So when we create our characters, let's start at the bare minimum. When we create our characters back in the day, and it's still available, you can still do it that way. You can take 3d6, the 6-sided dice, which are the most important dice because those are the ones that you use for your character. And you roll them. And that's what you get. Of course, now there's an alternative method where you need 4 of these guys. And you roll them. And you keep the higher 3. So I would end up with a 14. I got a 1. Boo. All right, let me see what else I can get here. Okay, well, oh boy. A 12. Okay, not so great. But anyway, you get the point. We use the 6-sided dice to roll characters with. All right. You know what? If you can't see what a 6-sided die looks like, hold on. These guys. Oh, boy. 6-sided die. Nice and big so you can see it. Look at that. Waboom. Okay. Now, the four-sided. Well, why would you need a little four-sided die? You know, it's really neat. It looks like a little caltrop. You can always use it as a caltrop, which is a, anyway, yeah, a caltrop used by ninjas. Anyway, so it's nice and pointy and really cool looking. And it has a 1, 2, 3. And some of them you read when it's on the bottom. This one particular one you read at the top. So when it's flat on the top, and I'll show you the difference. Now you can't see the difference, but this particular D4, the number's right at the bottom. So all the ones are at the bottom. With this one, all the fours are at the top. So they're a little different. And this is basically used a lot with magical spells in the game. And sometimes for special attacks and that kind of thing. Okay? That's what the D4 is used for. It's usually used for a lot of it, for attacks, to do damage and that kind of thing, or to add some type of damage on, depending on the weapon and so on and so forth. And remember that in different versions of Dungeons and Dragons, because there's a 3.5, there's the 5.0 that I always talk about. But in 3.5, wizards, mages of all kinds, there's a lot of characters that use a D4 as their hit points also. But that's a little different. That's a 3.5 thing, but I just wanted to bring that up. So then we talked about the six-sided. Six-sided is, I mean, there's so many weapons that use a six-sided. The short bow, the little short sword, staffs, just all kinds of different weapons. Maces, they all use a six-sided for damage. So it's a very important die also. I mean, they're all important. They all have their purpose. Then let's move up to the eight-sided. All right. So the eight-sided is another one. Now, the eight-sided is used for hit points, even in the 5.0, and, of course, all throughout. And it's used as a damage die. Most popular being like the long sword, the D8 long sword. The long bow does the D8. So that's the D8 used for damage. It's also used for special attacks, breath weapons, so on and so forth, magical spells, dice, right? Okay. So let's go to the 10-sided. Now, the 10-sided is unique in that there's two versions of it. And the one can be used either or. All right? Actually, they can both be used the same way, but... So you get two 10-sided die in a set. I'm just kind of going through the set. You get one that's called the percentage die. And what this is, it's numbered 10 through 100, with the 100 being represented as a 0, 0. All right? So you got 10, and you have 100. Now, the 0, 0 is funny because it does double work. It's used as two things. And here's how the way it works. So when I roll percentage, okay, the other one's just number 1 through 0, 0 through 1. So when I roll this, I come up with, oh, this is funny. So here we go. A 44. It's basically a 40 on the one die and a 4 on the other die, 44. Now, if for some reason I roll a double 0, okay, and a single number on this one, that becomes 0, 8. So I just rolled 8%. Here's the funny part. So that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is awesome until you roll double 0 and a 0. That is a 100. Okay? So if it's 0, 1, you have 1%. If you have 0, 0, zeros, you have 100%. All right, so that's all about the percentage dice. Okay. Next up, the 12-sided die. Now this one's used not a lot. I'm not gonna lie, but it is used for hit points on some characters, depending on which versions. It is used for certain weapons, and when you get hit by one of these weapons, they're usually the big weapons. And there are some spells or effects that use a 12-sided. Okay. Just depending on what version you're at. Now, the most used die in Dungeons & Dragons, believe it or not, is a 20-sided die. 20 sides to a die. And there goes a 19. All right, we like that. All right, so. But anyway, so the D20 is numbered from 1 all the way to 20. They're on opposite sides. So the 1 is here, the 20 is here. On complete opposite sides. So there it is. If I'm holding it like this, top and bottom, the bottom is the 1, or you can do it either way. The top is the 1, the bottom is the 20. You always want the 20. In Dungeons and Dragons, when you roll a 1, it is a failure. When you're rolling a hit, a 20 is an automatic success. Better known as a critical. All right, so that's our 20. Purple, yes. Actually, these are blue. These are purple. And of course, all my dice are purple. So that's cool, right? So that's what the dice are used for. Oh, I didn't tell you what the die 20 is used for. Okay, so the D20 is used from the very beginning of combat as, and I'm gotta go into combat. Initiative. So I roll this D20, boom, I rolled a 20. Whoa! That's not, and believe it or not, for me, that's kind of just normal for me to roll lots of 20s. So I rolled a 20 for my initiative. Whoa. I now have my dexterity or my initiative modifier. Ta-da, my initiative is out of control. I'm going to go first more likely unless somebody else rolled a 20 or is a really, really fast person or creature because everybody rolls initiative. Okay, so that's one. During combat, casting spells, I also use it to see if I hit. All right, that's how I rolled a 13 plus my modifier. Hey, I might hit, I might not hit, depends. But anyway, so it's also used to determine whether or not you hit when you attack, whether it's with a unarmed combat, a weapon of some kind, a spell of some kind, whatever. Okay? Now, a couple of other important things that it does. Whenever you get hit by a spell or an ability that causes you to make a saving throw, in other words, am I going to be able to resist this? Am I going to be able to dodge out of the way? There are saving throws. Those are all based on a D20 also. And on that one, I rolled an 18. So whatever my adjustment might have been, I might save. There's a difficulty number that I have to reach. Usually it starts out 10 is easy. 15 is average. 20 is hard. 25 is difficult. And 30, well, now you're getting up into those holy moly. So it can be done. It can be done. There are modifiers that can get you there. It's not easy, but it can be done. All right, so you also use it for saving throws. So far we got initiative. We have to hit, to see if we hit something, and to see if we save against something. Okay? And of course, last but definitely not least, it determines whether we succeed or fail at a skill check. Okay, so let's say that my rogue, is trying to stealth down the hallway. He doesn't want to be seen and he doesn't want to be heard. All right. So the DM says, well, make a stealth check. Oh yeah, I got a 15. A 15 plus my skill is probably going to put me somewhere around 19, 20, depending on what's going on. And that's a pretty good roll. Okay. So I may have stealthed down the hallway. So now I was successful that time. So now let's say the Goliath wants to pick up. Oh no, let's see. Let's not use that one. So we're going to assess what the value of something may be. So we need to appraise it. All right. So it's the skill. We would need to appraise it. Let's make an appraisal roll. Oh man, I rolled a 4. Let's say I had a 4. It's an 8. I may not really know. One or two things can happen there. Depending on what the target number was, I may have sat there and think that this thing is worthless. I might overprice it, or not even just really not understand its value at all. It depends. I mean, if it's a gem, I'm not really a lapidary or a gem maker, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is even worth anything. Or I might go, ooh, this thing's probably worth like 1,000 gold. It might be worth 50 gold, but who knows? I didn't make my roll. Depends on how the game master wants to run that. On the other spectrum, if I rolled, okay, and I rolled really high, I may be able to, so within a gold piece go, this, oh my gosh, this is a star sapphire. Oh, wow. Do you see how the look on that, the way it makes that star in it? It's beautiful, clear, so on and so forth. And I may know exactly how much it's worth, or I may know, even though I may know that this is worth. I may not know exactly how much, but I know that this star is a star sapphire, and a star sapphire is a prized gem. Okay, that's the way that works. So those are different kind of skill checks, and there's a lot of others. If I want to sit there, my ranger is trying to follow the orcs back to their lair. Okay, let's make a survival roll. All right, That's probably going to end up being a 13 plus whatever the modifier is. I may be able to follow their footsteps, and that may be modified. The number may be modified depending upon, okay, how long has it been? Am I following them in the woods, and do I see broken branches? They may have made a survival check to cover their tracks. So did I beat their survival roll? How well did they try to cover their tracks, and how well can I interpret the different tracks that whatever is left, whatever clues may be left? So and that's the way that works. Okay, so the D20 is used for a lot of things. So very important die. Probably I won't say it's the most important because each of them have their own, but I think it's the most used die. Simply because it's so much. And if I forgot something that you do with a D20, hey, just post it, send it in, and I'll correct it. I don't mind but off the top of my head, that's what all the dice are all about. Okay? That's what we use all these different dice for. Okay, so talking about dice, dice. I even have some with gold flakes in them, swirled ones, purple and white, purple and black, purple and blue, purple and gold. I mean, it's just awesome. I got little beads inside of them. I love dice. I have the prismatic ones, which are really cool. You can't see it, but they are cool. And of course, now at least talking about dice, I might as well just kind of touch up on a couple things that are here at the collective. Of course, one of Antonio's favorite monsters and one of mine, the Mimic. And if you open him up, you can actually store dice in him. He's a one of those things. He's the Mimic. Yep. Oh dear. Don't put your hand in there. Okay. We also have for the less adventuresome who don't want to sit there and be sticking their dice in a Mimic and then trying to recover them when you don't want to give them up. We have awesome leather faux dragon eye dice bags. And of course, what's complete without the bag of many pouches? This is actually a really neat bag. It has several pouches inside, and you can pretty much put all your D4s here, 6, so on and so forth, and put all your 20s right in the middle, or your favorite set right in the middle. So that's really cool. For those who want to advance a little bit more and want to combine a surface, you saw me just rolling on the table. Well, these are awesome. This combines both. So this is a dice tray. So as you can see, you can hold dice. All right. I believe you can hold up to 6 sets. I think that's what I have in mind. I have one of these with all my dungeon mastering and game master dice in them. All right. So they're really nice. They're felt. They have 2 layers. This holds the dice here. And that allows you to roll them. Look, 15. I like this dice tray. Okay. So let me see what we get this time. 4. I don't like it anymore. No. But anyway, and it's really nice. It's from Norse Foundry. They come with a really nice emblem on the front. This is the Firebird, Norse Foundry. Really nice, well made. I have one that I use. I also have a dice bag because I keep my other dice for. Listen, when I say need a pouch, what colors do they have? What color do you want? Tell me what color you want. Probably a white one, right? All right. And then here we have the dice tower and tray. All right. So we put the die up here and it rolls down there. It rolls a 17. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Let's see what this one gets. And a 17. All right. 2 17s. 2 17s for the win. All right. So that has a nice little dice tower. You drop the die in there, and of course, it comes out at the bottom. I also have one at home that my wife got me. It's really elaborate. It's made of wood. You've seen it on the show. It comes out with the leaves. It comes all the way out. It's amazing. So there's that. And there's so many things I can bring out. I just wanted to kind of touch on a few things because it's kind of like a dice related. And you know me and dice. If it's dice, we got to talk about it. But I want to talk about the Army Painter paints. Hey, this is an amazing set. The speed painting is awesome if you need to paint a lot of miniatures quick. They're great. Or if you just want to paint and you're not quite ready for the dry brushing and the shading and this and that, you know what? You can use them in different parts. You can do the cloak green with it and it'll shade it. You do the armor, you do the sword, the metallic colors. Then you come in and you do the face for an elf and so on and so forth. And you do it and it's really neat. Okay. It's really cool. I love it. Army Painter brushes. Amazing. Love them. Talking about a dice pouch, let me show y'all something. Now, this was custom ordered. It comes out of England. There's this woman who does them out of England. I'm not advertising for her. I just want you to see. That is a dragon eye. It is a custom built leather. It's leather. Look at how big that bad boy is. I still can feel more dice in it. Hello. See? The bottomless bag of dice. But anyway, I think it'll hold like up to 500, 600 dice. I told her to make it huge, so it's huge. It has a beautiful purple and blue dragon eye. And of course, it is also purple and blue with just a touch of pink, believe it or not, in there. That's what gives it the highlights. Isn't that beautiful? Yep. That was my Christmas gift to me. Because every once in a while, it's nice to do things for yourself too. Every once in a while. So, to recap, don't forget the Pathfinder flip mat's out. I'm going to be getting that today, as is the Book of the Dead in its original, normal, and the special edition with the gold foil. Very nice. Comes wrapped. No, you cannot open it. You can open up the regular one. All right. We got the Gale Force 9 Caverns, the ice set, and it's the Cavern ice set. The stalactites with the pool, stalagmites. Excuse me. These are stalagmites, and then you can get the encounter map if you like. We talked about dice. We talked about paints. We talked about mimics. So, with all that being said, don't forget, send your questions to johnsdc2021@gmail.com. Well, that's all I got for you today, this afternoon. So, as always, may the royal rise up to meet your feet. May all your adventures be successful. And I will see you next Friday at John's Dungeon Corner here at the Collective in sunny Altamont Springs, Florida. Oh, yeah.